Game two of the finals, Warriors win 107-88. This was a close game, and then it really wasn't a close game at all. It was a complete blowout by the fourth quarter, unfortunately. But let's talk about the game. So, first of all, on the Celtics side, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, not really the best of games, I would say. Jason Tatum kind of struggled at the beginning, and then his threes were falling like crazy. He ended up 6 of 9, but he was just shooting the three like crazy. But every other shot inside, like he only made two pointers out of his 8 shots. So everything else, he made 2 of 10 from inside the 3 point line, right? So he was struggling a lot on the interior. His threes were falling, but overall everything else wasn't falling as much. He did end up with 28 points, but he also had 4 turnovers and only had 3 assists. Meanwhile, in the first game, he had 13 assists. It's not indicative in the stats because the Celtics ended up with 24 assists and the Warriors ended up with 25. But it felt like the Celtics were not passing the ball as much. Just like if you look at it, Al Horford is 1 of 4. He made his first shot, I think, in the third quarter, so he didn't attempt a shot. Marcus Smart was 1 of 6. He was okay today defensively, but obviously offensively he didn't really have it going. Derek White was shooting a lot as well, but I thought that they didn't really get. I don't know. It didn't feel like they got a lot of people involved in the offense. It seemed like, I don't know. It didn't seem like the offense from the last game. Cause I mean the offense in the last game, Tatum was just creating shots for everyone else and it was working. Today he wasn't really creating for most people. It worked in the last game, but today Jason Tatum was not creating a lot for everybody. The most assists on the team was Marcus Smart with 5, and he also had 5 turnovers. Overall, turnovers was a huge thing for the Celtics. Ended up with 18 turnovers. Warriors only had 12, which I mean isn't that. I mean it's a 6 turnover difference, which is a bit large, but the difference in the points, Warriors had like 33 points off of the Celtics turnovers. It was a lot of steals. Warriors had 15 steals on the night, so they were just, you know, the turnovers were kind of crazy. A lot of careless turnovers as well, and just like some bad passes, like direct, like at least 1 or 2 of Jason Tatum's turnovers was just like a really like a bad pass that he just threw directly to a Warriors player. And I remember one other play where he just like fumbled and lost the ball, and Curry got the ball, ran up the court, and Tatum was trying to like cause a foul on Curry by like when he was running up against him, he was trying to like make some contact or whatever, and then he didn't even contest, and Curry made the three with ease. So like that was a really dumb play because he had the turnover and then he was trying to make a foul instead of contesting the three. Poor play overall by the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, man, I had hope. Jaylen Brown was super hot in the first quarter. Him and Tatum both had 13 points in the first quarter, and Jaylen Brown was 4 of 6, so super efficient. He ended up 5 of 17, so I believe that's 1 of 11 for the rest of the game. So yeah, afterwards he took a lot of tough shots after the first quarter, and he has sometimes he shoots. Sometimes Jaylen Brown shoots too much, and I feel like this is a game where he shot way too much, especially after the first quarter when it was obvious that his shot was not falling as much. And I thought that maybe, I don't know if I could say Marcus Smart should have had the ball more, but I believe that they should have tried to pass the ball around a bit more. Like Al Horford didn't shoot in the first half. Grant Williams had 2 shots. He made both of them, but like he didn't play that many minutes. Derek White was okay. He made 2 of his 4 threes, which is nice, but I believe the Warriors defense overall was slowing down the Celtics, and they just couldn't get a rhythm offensively, like with their passing at all. Like they did pass enough, but it didn't really feel like it didn't really feel like this was a very cohesive offensive game. It felt like a lot of Tatum and Brown just taking shots. And I mean, it shows 8 of 19, 5 of 17. Like, neither of those are very good games. So, on the Warriors side of things, Steph Curry, another good game, 29 points, 9 of 21, 5 of 12. Pretty decent game from Steph Curry. Jordan Poole as well had a pretty decent game, but almost all of this decent game from Jordan Poole came like near the end of the third quarter, which I'll talk about. But to start this game, the Celtics were up a lot. At one point, Jaylen Brown, like I said, he had 13 points in the first quarter, and the Warriors themselves had 13 points in the first quarter. So I thought that, like, not a blowout, but I just thought that the Celtics kind of had this on lock. And due to their turnovers, they really let the Warriors sneak back into this game, because they had 18 turnovers, but I believe at least like maybe like 10 of them or something were in the first half, or like were in early third quarter as well, which really let the Warriors get back into this game, and it ended up being like a 50-52 halftime. But again, Warriors, third quarter killers. They absolutely destroyed the Celtics in the third quarter. Celtics scored only 14 points in the third quarter to the Warriors 35, which was just a lot of Curry action, I believe. Like, he hit 2 threes near the end, and Jordan Poole hit 2 threes. Like, it wasn't like super crazy of a blowout. It was like the Warriors took like a slight lead, and it was like 10 points. Then the Celtics make like 1 or 2 shots, and it lowers it down. It gets to like a 5-point game, and Warriors pick it back up to a 10-point game. And near like 3 minutes left in the third quarter, it was like a 10-point-ish game. And then Curry, back-to-back threes. Then Jordan Poole comes in the game, has a nice assist to get a dunk for Kevon Looney, then hits an off-the-dribble deep three, and then hits a super crazy, basically half-court three to end the quarter. And suddenly, the Warriors, Poole and Curry, hit 4 threes in the final 3 minutes, and the lead went from like 10 all the way to like, it was basically like 21 or something. And then at that point, like at the beginning of the fourth quarter, Poole wasn't giving up. He scored more threes, and suddenly the game was a 30-point game at the start of the fourth quarter. And that's when I kind of stopped watching. They pulled out the starters, and that's when I stopped watching at like 6 minutes left in the fourth. But just not like the super crazy like avalanche that you would expect from the Warriors, but it was just like at the very end, they just got all their shots in, and suddenly the lead just imploded, and it was over from there. Klay Thompson in this game was god awful. 11 points on 4 of 19, 1 of 8 shooting. He did not look good today at all. It took him a long time to make his first 3. He made his first 3 in like the third quarter, but he had a really bad game. He does not look, his shot does not look good, and he was just missing a lot of easy like layups and stuff, and his like decision making at some points. Like, I could tell that he was a bit frustrated with his shot not going down. He was kind of forcing things at some points. Draymond Green today, a normal Draymond game, 9 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds. He had some dumb stuff that Draymond does, like, I don't know, a lot of stupid. He had like a technical foul. He like fouled Jaylen Brown on a 3, and then had his legs on like his head or whatever, which pissed off Jaylen Brown, which makes sense. It was kind of funny, but it was also a bit annoying. Sometimes Draymond is just a bit much. I don't know. Like, in the third quarter, as you can see here, Boston shot 4 of 17. Warriors shot 11 of 23. It wasn't even like they turned the ball over that much. It just felt like the Warriors were just defending really well. Jaylen Brown not good, 1 of 5. But, the Warriors were just defending really well, and they made a lot more shots. Steph Curry, big quarter from him, 14-point quarter. And Jordan Poole as well. Like I said, 6 points and the assist. So 8 points from Jordan Poole in the 1 minute and 19 he played at the very end of the quarter, plus the 2 Curry threes at near the end of the quarter that happened right before Jordan Poole. That was just a sudden avalanche coming through, and the Celtics did not do very well. For the Celtics, obviously this is not a horrible loss. Like, it is a pretty unfortunate loss, but you still won the first game, so the series is tied. You weren't really like to be I wasn't expecting the Celtics to go up 2-0. That would have been crazy. So like, they're okay now. Now they're going back to home court for game 3 in Boston. The Warriors had the pressure on them to win this game, so the series would be tied. Now the Celtics, hopefully, they would want to win both 2 games at home. I hope for myself as a neutral fan that the series is tied 2-2. That would make it more interesting. So the Warriors better win one in the Celtics arena. But, Celtics today, turnover problem like crazy. And just the amount of points that the Warriors got from the turnovers, as well as just offensively, I felt that they needed to get more people involved. And like 1 of 4, 1 of 1, 5 17, 1 of 6, 2 of 2, 4 of 13. Just they needed other people to get more involved and take more shots and just pass the ball around a bit more. And for the Warriors, it was a good win. Played defense really well. Klay did not have a good game at all. Curry had a pretty decent game. Jordan Poole had a really bad game until that final stretch in the third and the fourth. He got blocked twice, and he was looking just really bad out there, but he came out really strong at the end of the third. So, for the Warriors, they just have to they were able to calm down at a certain point and just play the basketball that they play, and they won this game. So right here, this is the Jordan Poole 3. This is so crazy. Wow. But just the fact that he did all of this, he came in, hezzy move, crossover. He's at half court. He does a crossover, and then he gets into his shooting stance. Usually when you shoot this far, you kind of just you just run and throw it. But he set up he did a whole crossover, everything, and shot it normally and hit that. And now going into the fourth quarter, the game was a 23-point game, and it very quickly turned into a 30-point game. If you look right here, the score is 62-76, 14-point game, but then Curry makes this crazy 3, and then Jordan Poole does his stuff, and that's how the Warriors went on an 11-0 run in the last 2 minutes. So near the 5-minute mark, it was not a close game, but it was 10 points or less. And then the Warriors went on this 11-0 run, and then they scored even more to end the quarter. Curry was really good in this game. Just the dribble moves, and on Al Horford, he was just abusing the old man, even though he is also old too.